Thank you guys for watching the Animal One Guys YouTube channel. If you like my content, leave a comment down below. Ask me questions, let me know what you liked about it. And hey, click on the little like button. But please, if you want, go ahead and subscribe, because it helps my channel out. That way you can stay up to date with all my videos. And if you want, click on the bell icon to get notified. Right? Right? Huh? 1 out of 2. Not bad. Hey, Reptile Rescue family members and everyone watching who's new. I thought I wanted to go over today what I find to be the perfect bearded dragon enclosure and how to set it up. Now, disclaimer. Bearded dragons do like other things, but I'm going to tell you what years of owning multiple bearded dragons and rehabbing over 50 different kinds, from special morphs down to your normal, from keeping them in extremely large enclosures to smaller enclosures. I can tell you the enclosure size I find that works perfect for 1 to 2 dragons and how I like to light and heat. Now, I've done an in-depth video before on lighting and heating, so I'm only going to mention them very briefly in this episode. So if you want more in-depth of those, you'll have to go watch my lighting and heating video. But let's start with the tank. I like to use front opening tanks. Whether you have them be glass on all sides, a glass tank, or a PVC tank, or you make one yourself, that's fine as long as I find there's an area in the front, because bearded dragons do like to look out. If you do use an all glass tank, another benefit is you can put it in front of a window, and the bearded dragon will enjoy looking outside. Tank size. Tank size that I find is 3 feet, that's 36 inches, by 18 inches deep, and 18 inches tall. I find this to be the perfect size, especially with certain things you put inside the enclosure to increase floor space, that the bearded dragon does not need more than this. Like I said, I've done smaller in height, and that's worked out just fine. I've also done larger, 4 by 2 by 2, which is a big tank, and there was absolutely no benefit health-wise, mental enrichment-wise to the bearded dragon. They did almost the exact same thing during the day. In fact, I even had certain bearded dragons go from one tank to the other to monitor their behavior and see if it was any different. So, boom, there we go. Now, lighting, I use a UVB T5 bulb that is going to cover about 2/3 or just over half of the enclosure. So this is a 2-foot bulb. I use a ceramic heat emitter for heat during the day, and one on a thermostat for at night if it were to drop below 65 degrees Fahrenheit. You can look up why I use this and why I use this. So, what do we do inside the tank? The first thing we want to do is substrate. I have done bioactive, I have done hard tiles, I have done paper towel, which honestly I feel works the best, but then you're going through paper towel. So what do I like to do? Newspaper. And I just lay 4 sheets, not the waxed kind for advertisement, so just the normal paper. And I feel like this is actually kind of fun for bearded dragons enrichment, because sometimes you get color, different colors, big black and whites. Sometimes Christmas time you'll get Christmas themed stuff. At Halloween you'll get some horror stuff. So every time you change out the paper, the bearded dragon gets some type of enrichment. The other nice thing is if they do a nice clean poop on one, normally you can just pull up that tile, replace it if it hasn't leaked through, and you don't have to replace everything else. You can do this with paper towel as well. It is just more expensive. Also, the bearded dragons love to burrow in this. They'll go in between the sheets, they'll go under the sheets. So this does help fulfill their natural instinct to dig. So does paper towel. If you just do shelf liner or hard tiles, they can't feel like they're digging under that. And in fact, my bearded dragons normally will drop a poop here and then fold the paper over it, and it will cover the poop. It's quite awesome, actually. Now, what do we do inside the enclosure? Great question. Boom! Cave, hide. I think this is Exoterra's like extra large hide. It is big. It fits 2 adult-sized bearded dragons in there. It is good, very good. This gives them a place to climb on, climb under, and because it's not perfectly square, you do get sections behind it, right? Where, believe it or not, bearded dragons like to crawl back there or wedge themselves in here. That's all very natural for them, or sometimes have their back legs behind it and just their face up there. They have the ability to do that. And again, being able to go on top of this gives them more floor space because now they can go in and up. But wait, there's more. Controlling humidity is very important for them. Dress sock full of rice goes right behind it. The dragons will climb on that. They'll push down on that. It will also help absorb humidity, and it's going to be out of sight, out of mind. Now, to give them even more space, I add a platform for them. And now, because the platform is in, we can put Phoenix back in her house because it was deep clean day for her, so she got to come out. So, additional floor space up top, and they still have all this floor space underneath, so they will still use the hide. They will still climb on top of the hide, even though people might say, hey, there's not enough room. No, they'll wedge themselves up there. They like to get into small spaces sometimes, and they'll use this area in front of the hide. So now we've added 50% more floor space, and we get a big hide. So the opening of the hide direction is the only thing that is really important, and I don't like to have it face forward because that's a tight gap. When you have it face out this way, they can go right in the cave, next to it either way, or on top. Okay, now we need to make sure we can help them get up to here. At a young age, where they have the height, they can get from here to here, which is about 7 inches. But what about when they're babies or they're older? I like these, half trunk real wood logs. I put it right up against the back. This is really good because, it's a tunnel, so they can tunnel through there, under there, or into there. They can climb up this easily. They got lots of texture, lots of grip to get up onto here, so they can go boop, boop, boop. They'll lay on this. They'll also push themselves up on this. They'll go inside of it. They'll also go on the back part of it. So that fits in really well. There's more. I throw another, boom, sock of rice over there. They'll go on this. It's soft. It moves when they go on it. It always gets their brain going, and they like to sleep on it. Think of that like a beanbag chair. I have dangling heat and humidity probes in opposite ends of the corner for hot and warm side, and then I put one that has a big memory. So this will be inside the enclosure, give me its humidity, the high and low for the day, the temperature, and the high and low that it's reached for the day. And then honestly, probably the most important thing that I'd recommend almost every bearded dragon have is a giant hammock. Bearded dragons, believe it or not, guys, love to climb. Bearded dragons love to climb in the wild and as pets in captivity. In the wild, you'll constantly see them on fence posts, on some type of low-hanging tree bark that was going up, in thicker bushes with wood. They like to lay flat, but they also like to prop themselves up at an angle. Another nice thing, by elevating either with the ledge or with the hammock, you are now raising the basking location to be closer to the heat, which will allow you to get your perfect basking temperature without making the air in the enclosure so hot. So on my hot side, I can have low to mid 80 degree air, but I can have my mid 90 degree basking spot. I like the XL size because they can go from here over to there. They can cross it. 2 beardies can lay one here. They can put their head here. They can hold on to it. It's great. And in all honesty, bearded dragons love hammocks. They love them. They'll lay on them this way. They'll lay on them upside down. Sometimes I'll find them with their head here and their feet up there. It gives them so much enrichment. They love it. I prefer the green kind because it's perforated for airflow and for water, but it's not big enough perforations to get their nails caught in it. It's also more solid, so it helps with heat from the basking. I'm going to tell you, and most Facebook groups, they lie to you. I'll be honest, I don't think there's an accurate Facebook group for bearded dragons. These absolutely, they can bask on them. My bearded dragons will lay under here and their backs and bodies will be in the 90s, perfect. And hammocks do not make lazy bearded dragons. My bearded dragons run around in the enclosure. They run around when they come out in the enclosure. They just like to lay on the hammock. Look at this psycho. He's going crazy right now, but he has a hammock. This setup is not expensive. You've got extra floor space, things like that. Now, I have seen bearded dragons to wrap up in a larger enclosure and they don't use it. They'll lay here or they'll lay there. Whether this is 4 feet across or 5 feet across or 2 or 3 feet. 3 feet, this to me is also the minimum size. They don't use the extra space. There's no difference. You would have to go massively big to give them that outdoor feel, 10 feet by 10 feet. This is perfect. They will be healthy for into their late teens. Take care, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you guys for supporting my reptile rescue family.